Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. We're looking at a new stitch today, and this is called the crossed ripple stitch. This is a very detailed yet very textured stitch. You see that it's got so much texture in it that my piece here is actually trying to fold or double up on me. You will be working with what's called raised stitches or relief stitches, and all that means is when you're working in this pattern and you see these stitches going a little diagonally here, but they're also going to be working around the stems of stitches 2 rows below. So that's just another name and another definition for a technique. It's working around your stems or your posts, sort of like your rib stitching, your cable stitching, your front and back post stitching. It's very similar because you're going to be working, as you'll see as we go through this, around the post of stitches that are a couple rows down, and yet you're going to be working diagonally. Alright, so let's get started with that. And before I go on, I did work with a 4-weight yarn here and an I-9 hook. I'm going to work with a smaller yarn, so I'm going to work with a 3-weight yarn, and I'm also going to work with a 4.5 hook. I feel like you'll get a better look out of this with this smaller hook and yarn. So you want to chain in multiples of 3 plus 2 at the end and then add 1. So I chained a total of 21 here. Okay, so what we need to do at this point is you're going to work in the humps of this chain. So what you're going to do is just turn this over, and you've got your little humps back here, and I have showed you this before in tutorial. So you want to start in the second from the hook, and you want to work at single crochet. So start into that second from the hook and go in the back of this row and work at single crochet. Now you want to go all the way across, so just working in those hump stitches, which you can call them, some do call those the back loops of the foundation chain. The technical term is the back hump of the foundation row. They're very easy to spot, but if you're a tight crocheter, they are sometimes hard to get into. So just be aware of that. But once you find them, they're very easy to go into, and I'm not a tight crocheter, so mine are usually very simple to deal with. So you just want to single crochet in those all the way across. And like I say, you can chain up any number that you wish to do. If you wanted to do fewer, that's fine, but I felt like I needed to do quite a long strand here so you could actually get the feel for the detail of this stitch. Okay, so on the last one here, and make sure you go in that hump only, not any other loop. Alright? So you have your strand, and now what you want to do for row 2 is you want to turn, and we're going to chain up 3 here. That's going to count as a double crochet. Now you're going to skip this first stitch, then you want to skip the next 2 stitches also. So then you're going to double crochet into that next stitch, and do not do that very tightly. For this stitch you want to make your stitches rather loose, and you'll see the reasoning behind that as we go. Now you want to work your cross stitch of your crossed pair, because that's what we're working on here. You're going to yarn over, get ready for this double crochet. You're going to count back to that beginning first skipped stitch. So here's your first one, here's your second one. Now you're going to work a double crochet into that second one, and mind you, oh I'm sorry, hang on, go back, we want to do a chain 1. Sorry about that, guys. After that first double crochet you want to chain 1. then you can go into that stitch and work that double crochet. That is going to be what is like a crisscrossed double crochet stitch. And I have done these before on tutorials, so if you're not familiar with that, you can go back and review that video first as well if you need to. So now you're going to repeat this across this row. So you want to skip the next two, and be careful, do not count the one that this previous double crochet is already in, okay? So you want to skip the next two and go into the next one with a double crochet. And remember, do not do these tight because you will have a bad fold. Chain one and count back to that first skip stitch of the two, yarn over and work a crossed double crochet here. And then you're just going to repeat that across. So skip the next two, double crochet in the next, and chain one. And go back into that first skipped stitch of the two and work your double. Skip the next two and repeat. Make sure you chain that one because that's important, and work that second double crochet. Skip the next two, work your double, chain one, and go back into that first skipped stitch for your second double. Alright, so skip two, and you should be into that second from the end stitch, double and chain one, and now work that second double crochet. Okay, and now what you want to do is simply work a double crochet into that turning chain. Now this is going to be your finished piece for the end of row 2. Alright, let's turn now, and the 2 rows that we are going to repeat are going to start with this first row here. You want to chain up one. You're going to just make a single crochet row now. So you're going to single crochet in that same stitch. Now you have your double crochet, chain one, and double crochet here. You want to do a single crochet in each. So put one in your double crochet, and then a single crochet into that chain one space, not that chain one in between, but you want to do it in the space. And then a single in the next double crochet, and then you're just going to work that across. So you're just going to double crochet in the tops of both double crochets, then you're going to double crochet into that chain one space. And make sure that you're maintaining that stitch count of whatever it was that you started off chaining with at the beginning, because you don't want your stitch count to get off. So I'm just going to zoom by here with my single crochet. And feel free to stop the video if you need a few extra minutes to do so. And once you get to that end stitch, you want to simply work a single crochet into the top of that turning chain. Okay? Now for the second row here of our repeating pattern, you're going to basically repeat as our second row with one exception, and this is the kicker part of the pattern. So what we're going to do is chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so you're going to skip the stitch you're already in, and then skip your next 2 stitches like we did before. Then you're going to put your double crochet in, so now we're working our crisscrosses again here. And now what you're going to do is you're going to work what's called the relief stitches, which is what we were talking about, your relief stitch, relief double crochet stitch basically. And you're going to work into this or around the post be 2 rows below. So not the single crochet row, but down below here on row 2 from before, where we did our first crisscross stitch. So you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to come all the way down, and you're going to go around the post of that. That's actually your second leg of that first crisscross that we did. And then you're going to finish that double crochet, but do it loosely because you do not want it to fold on you. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to take that back out and show you one more time on this one. So again, you change your 3. You want to skip the next 2 stitches and then put in your double crochet. And don't forget to chain that 1. I myself keep forgetting to chain that 1. Okay, so you'll yarn over, and around this post here, 2 rows below, it's not hard to see that big X here. You're going to go around this post. So with your yarn over, you just want to scoop down and go around that post and just complete a double crochet. Just like that. And you have completed that first stitch. Then you're just going to move on. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and then you're going to work a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, then you're going to repeat. So yarn over, then you're going to work around the next post of that next crisscross stitch. So go around the post, work your double crochet. Simple. Skip the next 2 stitches and do that same process. Double crochet, chain 1, yarn over and go around the next post from at the bottom of that next crisscross stitch and do your double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches and repeat. So once you get in the pattern of it, it's really not hard. You just have to find the correct place to put that hook, and that's important. If you put it in the excuse me, if you put it in the wrong place, it's not going to look bad, but you're going to have a different pattern. So basically, you want to make sure to get that relief stitch or that raised stitch look. So skip the next 2 stitches and repeat that process. So yarn over, drop down, go around the first leg of that next crisscross and complete that double crochet. Okay, so the next one, so you want to skip 2 and complete the last one for this row. Drop down and work that double crochet. Okay, now you want to double crochet into that very end stitch. And now this is what you get at the end of this row. If you flip it over, you see that it's very textured on the back as well. Alright, so now you're just going to turn and you're going to go back and repeat row 1. So you're going to chain 1 and then you're just going to simply single crochet across this row. And make sure you go into that chain 1 space also. So each double crochet gets a chain or a single crochet, and each chain 1 space gets a single crochet. And that is pretty much all that there is to do in this. It is a very beautiful stitch. It is a raised stitch. So if you're looking for something with personality, something that would be really great with color change, this would be really great with color change. Me personally, if I were doing this stitch, my color change would happen on the single crochet rows. So I would do my color changing, my crisscrosses would be one color, my single crochet rows would be another color. That's where my color changes would happen. So after your single crochet row, you'll go back to row 2 and you'll basically chain up 3 and you'll start your crisscrosses again. So you'll skip the next 2, work your first double crochet, chain 1, and you'll go back into that first skip stitch, but you're going down to the post from 2 rows down, work that double crochet, skip the next 2, double crochet and chain 1, and do the same thing. Yarn over, go down 2 rows to that next crisscross around that post, and double crochet, skip 2, double crochet and chain 1, and down around that next post. So we'll just keep going. And I think working in crisscrosses like this and working around the posts, things in this nature are really nice. They're a really big fad right now in the crochet and knitting world. And I've been using them a lot in my patterns as well. They just make really beautiful patterns. And this may be one you may have to block, just simply because it wants to keep folding, and it does that because of the angle at which these stitches are going. But just play it by ear and see how it comes out for you. Okay, so now at the end of this row, you want to make sure to do your double crochet at the end of this row. And that's all there is. Now you'll go back to doing your single crochet row, and then you'll just alternate rows and color change as you like if you prefer. And that's all there is to this pattern. So this is the smaller yarn, and this is the larger yarn that I used. And that's your difference. So your hook size, this is a perfect example of hook size and yarn size. So size does make a difference. Alright, again, this was your crossed ripple stitch. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And please don't forget to hit the like button at the end of my tutorials if you are enjoying what you're seeing. It helps me to know what I'm doing for you is benefiting you, and to keep producing these for you. So you guys have a great day and happy hooking.